How's it going? Okay, after the last video, the first thing I did was to cut the board using a soldering iron in places where the cables will go, because I don't really want them to break, and you'll see at the end that everything will connect to a single terminal, and it'll be located right on this part of the castle, which you will see in the next clip. I've used plastic terminals, like this one, to connect the positive and negative terminals of several other castle pieces. Most of them being almost complete. Not entirely, though. Well, it did. I did complete it. I joined everything and installed everything, and believe me when I say that it was the worst thing that I've ever done in this project. The worst part was not wiring, but it was installing the castle pieces into their beds, because they're so delicate and so tiny that a simple mistake can actually ruin everything. And I did ruin so many things. I've broken so many parts of the terrain and the castle that I used so much glue and plaster. I don't even remember. But there's nothing you can't fix with some glue and some plaster. So everything is fine now. This is if you see it here that everything is fine, then it is fine. Here's this visuals at night, or in the dark. Every single clip that you see in this video or was filmed at night, but the lights are perfect. They're not too dim, they're not too bright. You can see the quad and transfiguration courtyard very well lit, but they're not too extravagant, so they're okay. Here comes the most exciting part of the project. The lake. This is the first time I've ever used epoxy, so what could go wrong, right? Well, apparently so many things. I never worked with epoxy before, so I didn't really know what I was expecting. But apparently, epoxy goes in an exothermic reaction once it's mixed with its catalyzer. Exothermic reaction means it releases heat, and this one went so hot that it almost melted down the silicones that I put around the mold. But hallelujah, nothing happened. Everything was okay. But my room smelled like epoxy for the next 3 days, and it's toxic. So, regardless, I slept in that room. Hopefully, my lungs are fine. Well, I've now poured down the epoxy. One thing I've noticed is that it's extremely clear, contrary to what I've mixed, which was a little bluish. So, from the videos that I've watched, one thing that the other people who work with epoxy mentioned is that epoxy gets darker in color the more it dries. And as a matter of fact, this is what I've also noticed, but I can't be sure, especially in this stage of the diorama, where it's impossible for me to make any mistakes, because a single mistake is going to ruin the entire thing. But so far so good. Even though it's very clear, I can add some ripple effects later on and kind of mask that clearness and prevent people from seeing the bottom of the lake. Having said that, it will take time for me to get my hands on those ripple effect things, because I don't know if there is any. Even if there are some here in Turkey, they're probably going to be costly. I can afford it, but I've spent too much on this model alone. But I'm proud of it. It's good. one last commentary. My last printer wasn't really good at printing small details, so I invested in a new one, a Bamboo Lab A1 combo, and that's how I printed this covered bridge. I'll enjoy the rest of the video. There's one last thing that I have to do with this. It's the trees and also the platform in which this will go. But afterwards, I think it's going to look beautiful. So, thank you for watching.